everyone, Justine Leslie here, intuitive reader and teacher. I help awakened and sensitive souls intuitively navigate this crazy world. And one of the ways I do it is that I give a weekly reading every week for the collective consciousness. I'm using my angel cards, angel oracle cards here that are all laid out. I have shuffled before I went live on my video, and I will go ahead and read for you. And again, this is for the collective consciousness in different areas of our life for this week. This is the fourth week of February 2020. So let me jump right into it. So first I want to, by the way, guys, I woke up today feeling like it's a brand new day. So I would not be surprised if we got a lot of new energy type stuff happening this week, where we are starting new beginnings and things like that. That is the hit that I got this morning and the energy read that I got this morning. So let's see what happens here. I'm very, very excited about it. Okay. So we got gentleness as far as the strength goes here, and we have Archangel Sandalphon. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So this week we're going to kind of take it easy. The word recovery is coming up, and I feel like we have spent a lot of the last couple of weeks in more of a doing, more of the masculine energy. This is pointing more towards, there is a work card, and I'll go more into depth about how work will look this week, but basically we have overstimulated ourselves to the 10th power. This could also mean travel as well. So if you've been traveling or working really hard, this is especially talking to you. We must recover this week. We must recover. So it's really important that we're very gentle on ourselves. We're not going out every single night, and we're really making sure that I know the word self-care is so overused sometimes, but it really is so essential for us. So please, please, please take care of yourself this week. I definitely see no resistance there because it is in the strength spot. So that means that you guys are going to be happily doing it. You could feel the exhaustion. This is nothing new, but it's definitely something that is going to be the forefront of the week. Cancel plans if you have to. Say no if you have to. Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so we got the surrender card in weakness. So speaking of, so these two kind of come together, right? Because I don't feel you guys resisting to slowing down. I don't feel you guys resisting to take care of yourselves and all of that stuff. But I do see some resistance around surrendering to what is. So it almost feels like this week something is going to happen where it's going to completely throw you for a loop. I feel like a lot of us have this idea of where we want our life to go because we do have a lot of these changes happening right now. And I'm going to talk about more about this during the, I do a monthly energy read and intuitive hits and downloads for the month. I feel like this energy is coming, the change energy. Like I said, I felt it this morning and I'm feeling it now. And I definitely feel it going more into March as well, so it's not over. So what we need to be doing is that we can't resist to what is happening for us. It's almost like the hows of our whys and what we want to accomplish are unfolding, but we're not necessarily liking it. We're not necessarily going with the flow, and we're kind of resisting that. We're not surrendering to what is. So it almost feels like this week something else is going to kind of rock the boat with your future plans, and it's really, really going to put you in a place where you get very disappointed. And it's basically pointing out that we're creating our own suffering because we're not surrendering to this. The idea, it's great to have a plan and it's great to have a goal, but sometimes the universe shows us a different way, and it definitely feels like something like that is happening this week. It could really be pertaining to your career, entrepreneurial pursuits, your love life. It could really, and your personal life. It could really hit all facets. So I can't get really specific on where or what angle, because it almost feels like everybody's experiencing this, but in different parts of their life. So keep that in mind. It's so important to surrender. Do not resist this. You guys are doing really well being non-resistant to the self-care and the slowing down and the recovery. So just join on the bandwagon with this as well, but you're going to have a little bit more of a hard time with it, which is understandable, right? Feel your feelings, acknowledge them. That's what they want, right? And be able to release them, okay? Light and love to you. Because it almost feels like a giant disappointment in a way, because you had this idea of how you wanted things to go, and then this week you find out that it's not going to go that way. So I hear you. It's frustrating. Light and love for sure. Okay, romance, overcoming difficulties. The worst is now behind you and you're surmounting any previous challenges. Okay, cool. Okay, so this tells me, there's a giant feather, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's an angel on top here. Okay, so what this really kind of symbolizes is that there has been some healing that has been going on around your romantic life. It almost feels like you've been working on this since the beginning of the year, like whatever this issue is. It could possibly be about codependency. It could possibly be about the partners that you attract. It could possibly be about releasing an ex. That feels really good. It's almost like you're almost there. You've overcome the hardest part of being able to heal and move through this type of energy to get to a better place. I have mentioned numerous times, I believe I did it on the monthly for January, but I actually feel like this year a lot of people's soulmates are really, and I might have done it on a romantic reading, I forget, but a lot of people are gaining soulmates in the year 2020. There's a lot of soulmate energy coming in, so there is a lot of clearing of our old romantic patterns that don't work, and our old romantic patterns that don't work, basically, right? This is not about clearing in what works. This is really kind of clearing about our old false beliefs, for example, or limiting beliefs around our love lives. So we have gotten to the hardest part. You have gotten over one of the hardest parts. You have gotten through, I should say. I should never say get over, gotten through the hardest part of it. So it almost feels like, yeah, sometimes, and I don't believe we're always completely healed from certain things. I always feel like healing is like a dance. It's not necessarily like a start to a finish. So you can kind of go back and forth with it. But basically what the angels are saying is that you've gotten over like a giant, giant hump, and you should be really proud of yourself. It feels like things will be lighter this week when it comes to your romantic life. And again, I feel like this is happening because we're clearing space for our soulmates to come in this year. Okay, so personal. All right, so this is coming through super strong. Let me jump right into it, guys. We have the patience card here. So basically what's happening is that there's a huge call to, it feels like more and more of you guys are working with people in more of a community type setting. Not necessarily, if you work independently, even if you work independently or autonomously, it almost feels like you have to do some collaboration this week. So this is kind of all about like community and collaboration, meaning like you need to have patience when it comes to situations like that. It's almost like it's testing you in a way, even though I go back and forth about whether the universe tests us. But this is kind of like, it's more of like a lesson basically about how to cultivate more patience and how to work with other people as a group. I feel like a lot of us, especially those that work autonomously and independently, maybe work from home or digital nomads, or work entrepreneurially, this is going to be a big week to test you, and mostly because you've been doing more solo work. This goes with freelance writers and journalists and things, whatever you can do freelance. It almost feels like this week you're going to be tested when it comes to collaborating with someone. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean pertaining to work, right? But that's really kind of like the main thing that's coming through. But this could also be with family. If you are not used to, if you've lived away from your family for a really long time, maybe you're spending a few days with them this week, maybe going on a vacation or something like that, that could also put you in a place where you need to cultivate patience because you're not used to collaborating with people and compromising. And this is like a good lesson for you this week. So this should be interesting. Not sure if that's what you wanted to hear, but okay. Okay, so work-wise. Okay, so this is interesting. So work-wise, we got the parenting card. We have the number 63 parenting card coming up in the work spot. So the first thing that kind of came up is like we need to, there's a certain level of making sure that we provide what we need in work. And what that means is that we need to start speaking up more about what we need when it comes to work. So if you, for example, have an open floor plan at work and you're realizing it doesn't work for you and you need to be more in those phone booths or you need to be more in conference rooms, speak up about what you need. If you need a work from home day once a week and they don't provide that at your current position, please ask for that. So basically the whole energy here, those are just examples, guys, that I can think of from my time in an office, is that you need to, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an office, right? If this is about asking for what you need as far as part-time off, you know, or whatever it is, you know, anything along those lines, right? It doesn't have to be an office setting. I just want to make that clear. But basically it's about making sure that you are satisfying your needs and you're speaking up and you're asking for you know, you need to take care of yourself, and that goes with what the general energy and the strength of this week is. You need to put yourself first, and you need to recover, and you need to rest, and you need to put your self-care first. That is mulling over into work, right? And I did mention it might be from overstimulation from working so much, right? Working or traveling for work. That could definitely be a big thing. So it's so important that you're asking for what you need and you're speaking up and you're making sure that your work life is fulfilling you in some type of way in that aspect. Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Okay, so what do we have for extra clarity that we may need this week? We have, you know what to do, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. Guys, if you need any clarity about any inner knowings that are coming up, I talk about the clairs a lot. Our clairs are spiritual intuitive gifts. And basically, we all have them, by the way, guys. And our inner knowing is very, very strong lately. I got this in a private reading last week, and I just got the overwhelming feeling. This is for the collective consciousness as well. Is that we just need. When I say clarity, I mean trust that inner knowing. I mean that is the clarity around it. You don't have to doubt it, and this is not the week to be doubting it. All right, extra guidance we need. Health. Guys, take care of yourselves. Move your body. I've said this multiple times, and I know sometimes this feels like it might be obvious, but it's not. When we get older, we forget. I love that the parenting card came up because sometimes we forget when we become adults to play, to be joyful, to fulfill ourselves, to have fun, and also move our bodies. We forget about this. As children, we're always constantly moving. We want to run around. We have so much energy. The trick is moving your body is actually going to give you more energy. You have to keep yourself healthy, especially the older that you get. But it just feels like, and those that are in places like myself, I'm in New York City, that have the 4 seasons. It can get cold, and I totally understand how you want to hibernate and not get out of the house. But if you can find any type of way where you can move your body at least once a day, that is so super important. And don't forget to do it this week. If you fell off, this is a great week to start again. Okay, so what is some extra healing that we need this week? Sensitivity. Okay. You're extra sensitive to energies and emotions right now. Honor yourself and your feelings. Okay, so it's not like we need to be healed from our sensitivity. What we need to do is to make sure that we are honoring ourselves and that sensitive part of ourselves, especially you empaths. I'm talking to you. Again, this is a great way to finish going back and connecting to the first card, where this is definitely a week of rest and recovery. Now, and you're probably going to be extra sensitive, like I said, especially if you're an empath. This is Archangel Haniel. She comes through, especially for empaths, especially for intuitives. Highly intuitive people, and she is basically the archangel of compassion, love, and sensitivity. So she is really kind of coming through and saying, you know, it's so important that we take the downtime that we need, get more into our feminine energy, and really just be and chill in our essence, and really just make sure that we are not overstimulated, that we are focused, that we are aligned, that we feel good. Guys, the point of life is to feel good. That's the point of this week, is to feel good. So it's so important that we pay attention to what feelings and emotions are coming up, making sure we acknowledge them. Guys, I say this a lot. All our feelings want to do is be acknowledged, felt, and released. That's it. It's a simple process. It could be very painful. It is very painful most of the time, but we need to move through it. That's kind of the whole point of having them, right? They can tell us what we need to know. They are the language of the soul, so it is so, so important that we listen to that language. Okay, cool. All right, so a pretty good week for you guys. Just some reminders coming up, some guidance hopefully you got from this. And it seems like a pretty good chill week, which is exciting. And I'm excited to see what March energy has going on for us. I gave you a little bit of a preview here, but and I'm curious to see what romance does too. So I'll be putting out that video as well. If you like this type of content and also content around empaths, spiritual awakenings, being an intuitive, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And if all of this resonates with you guys, if it doesn't, if you have a question, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to communicate with you guys there. And I will see you guys next week with all of the new videos. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.